Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for the fifth night in a row. Five to go. Five to go. Five done. Five. Well, four done. One happening right now. Hope you guys are well. Hope you're doing good. And jump in the chat. Let us know that you're here. Tell us what you're up to. If you're having a drink, if you're not having a drink, whatever else is going on, you might be reloading. I'm pretty excited about tonight. These guys are pretty much legends in the Australian PRS practical rifle long range shooting community. So look forward to having them a chat with them. Let us know what you're up to, what you're doing, who you're watching with. What would be awesome is if you're new to this channel, hit subscribe. If you we're going to be doing this fairly regularly at the moment during this current period that we find ourselves in. So make sure you subscribe, and that way you're notified of what's going on and other videos that we might drop up from time to time also. And what would be really helpful now, if you're watching currently, if you can jump on and like this video, because I think that helps push it out further, and if not, it's probably just good anyway. So that would be awesome. If you have others that were hoping to listen to information about the New Zealand Mountain Challenge, jump on socials. I'll give you a moment to do it. Grab the link here, share the video, and let's get as many people on board tonight as we can. It's Friday night. What else are you going to be doing? There's no pubs open. Can't go to the club to get ready to go shoot tomorrow. What else would you be doing? You may as well sit here and listen to two guys who really know what they're doing shooting wise, and also I'm here as well. So that makes three of us who are present, and two of us who know what they're doing. I wanted to let you know Stage 1 hats have arrived. PRS hats have arrived. So if you have ordered either of those, they will be on their way to you this week. They arrived this afternoon. So all on its way. If you've ordered some of that gear, it will not be far away now. And if you want to order some of that gear, you can jump onto the Precision Rifle Series website, and he'll hook that up through Stage 1 on the merch thing. It's probably the only thing you can book into at the moment on the PRS website. Anyway, check it out. They look schmick, real schmick. Yeah. Anyway, excellent. All right, we're going to get underway. I got to let you guys know that there is a code for Projectile Warehouse. Projectile Warehouse offering 5% discount to any of our viewers. If you use the code IDLIVE, IDLIVE, and the number 5, do that and you get 5% off. And there is a stack of stuff in stock now, with a whole stack more stuff arriving this week, including some Nosler and some Sierras and some other bits and pieces. So more and more coming in. Nick is dry firing. Good to have you back again, Nick. Dry fire practice, a game the whole family can enjoy. Well, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right. My guests tonight, let's make sure they're up and running. Let's check out, make sure this is going to work for us tonight. We are trying a new method because we've got two guests this evening. So we are doing things a little bit differently. But recently they returned from New Zealand for shooting the New Zealand Mountain Challenge. If you're familiar with that one, it's one of the biggest, or probably the most anticipated, perhaps one of the most well-known matches in around, or certainly in Australia. I know there's a few US guys, and certainly the biggest one in New Zealand as far as I know. And unfortunately these guys got stung by coming back into Australia at the wrong time. But anyway, that gives us a chance to speak to them, because they're not doing much else. These guys are normally flat out busy because Birchy is one of them, or he's the man behind Low Vis Gear and makes some sensational equipment. If you haven't checked that out, please do. And also stocks all the Armageddon gear and a whole stack of brands which I've forgotten, which I'm sure he'll tell us about. So we'll give him a moment to do that shortly. And then Jay is an absolute gentleman, and he's smirking at me saying that already. But he's the man behind Orange Accuracy, and he is one of the best trainers in the country. And if you need to go spend some time, let me rephrase that. You need to go spend some time with Jay. No matter how good a shooter you are, you can always continue to learn more. So let's get these gentlemen up here. Let's see what's going on. And guys, how are you tonight? Are you there?
Well, I thought we might have corona when we got home, but we've been in for 10, 11 days and we're fine. So I reckon you dudes are the ones we're going to be worried about now. I'm staying here.
You reckon the sinuses have built up in their ears and they can't hear us now? I think we've just fixed it.
Everyone else has a problem now. We're good.
Yeah, I think we might be back on deck with some audio. They'll be about 10 seconds behind or so, and we should be good to go. So we shall get into it. The New Zealand matches were it's a well-known match, the Mountain Challenge. Have you guys shot it before at all?
No. I've been thinking about it for a couple of years, talking to Jared from the Vic PSR. He's been at least twice now. And a few of the guys, like Sejuno, he's another Victorian shooter. He's been pretty keen. But I've never really, the days turn into weeks, turn into months, don't organise anything, and it just kind of passes by. But no, next year we're going back, though. We have to.
Oh, yeah, okay. It was that good, eh? That good. Jay, what about you, mate? Never shot it before?
Never shot it before, mate. Obviously grew up in New Zealand and never really did much shooting up over home. Too busy playing.
So, Joe, we got some challenges with your feed, mate. So
a couple of things happened one day, and
we're gonna get you to jump back into the call, mate, and we'll ask Birchy a couple of questions while we are waiting. So let's get you to jump back on deck, mate.
I thought, you know what, I'm doing, listen to it.
Very good. Birchy, while we wait for Jay to restart that one, what caused you to have a crack over there in New Zealand? What was the main reason you thought, that looks amazing, let's get into it?
Yeah, I like the PRS kind of shooting. It's good, positional kind of shooting, but I also do a lot of hunting, and the appeal for me was carrying your pack. Everything you need is what you take with you, and you don't get any help. So you and one other dude on the side of a massive hill all day shooting targets out to 1,100 yards with crazy wind in the not the wilderness, but out in nature. That's cool. It was amazing.
Yeah, nice.
Like with all the square range shooting we do in Australia, it's really good. And the biggest limitation that we have is the range templates and insurance. But they kind of have a way to get around that at the moment. So it's an opportunity that's abnormal, and we both jumped at it, which worked out really well.
Yeah, nice, mate, nice. And so you guys had planned to team up on prior to going over there, or does that get done over there?
Jay and we shot the PSR, the Victorian PSR in Castlemaine a couple of times. Okay. And then, at the PRS, we try and stick pretty close to each other so we can chat about training and stuff, gear and everything like that. And then over there, it made sense, at least we already know each other and we're shooting the same bullet, the Hornady factory ammo, with similar ballistics, so we can help each other out. We did plan it, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Cool. And so, I mean, take us through it. Like, how long were you in New Zealand for?
Man, we were only there for 6 days, including the flight in and out. I had my wife and my young daughter with us as well. It wasn't really – we didn't have heaps of time to explore, because of work, finished up, went to the airport the next day, flew out, we had a couple of days in the country, stayed in Wanaka, shot the comp, and then the next day we left straight into quarantine. So it was awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
fantastic. One of us. We didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no, not too many people saw that coming, I don't think. No, absolutely. And so
I like them by myself, but that's not that funny. So.
Right, we'll move on from that. So how many days does the competition go for?
It was a 3-day event. The Friday was a check your zero, and they had 1,000-yard elimination kind of shoot, which we didn't get involved in. We checked our zero, and then that was it. We packed up. Saturday was the mountain challenge, which was the whole day.
Yeah.
with 10 different stages, and then the Sunday was a PRS.
Okay.
And then they combined the scores for the Saturday, Sunday.
And do you know what happened with the 1,000-meter elimination challenge? What do you know the format that ran?
We watched it. It was more of a spectator kind of thing. They had the sheds where they did the safety briefing, had a quick chat, introduced all the sponsors and stuff like that. And then there was one target with no cold ball. It was just, I think you get 3 rounds to hit it, and if you hit it, then you go to the next phase. If you don't, then you're out. And it was just a round robin, just chipping away from top to bottom. Jared, he had an AI with his 338. He got a first round hit. Sejuno and Scotty, I think, they all got through the first phase and maybe the second phase, and then the wind was pretty bad. And Hardy, one of the blokes that runs Hardy rifles, Hardy barrels in New Zealand, he ended up winning it with a 6.5 PRC, which was cool.
Yeah, right.
But we went. It took a while. I think we cleared out.
What were you running?
Jay and I just had the 6.5 6.5 Creedmoor, just what we shoot in the PRS. So we weren't running any fancy Ninja calibers or anything like that. Just 140 grain LDM with factory box ammo. So
yeah, right.
That's what we've been shooting all year, and it goes well.
Absolutely. We are trying to get Jay back here, and we're missing him already. Let's just see if we can do that. We're working on that. So, no dramas with Zero? All good?
Well, the elevation was different. We were shooting on a bit of an angle. There were a few things, but it was only a 0.1 and a 0.1. Like, we came up 0.1 and left 0.1, and we both did that. And we reckon that might have contributed a little bit to our data playing games with us a little bit on the Saturday. Not making excuses, but we did find that our data was about 0.2, 0.3 high the whole day. So we had to kind of pick that up early and run with it. But nothing drastic. Like, the flight went well. I don't think they drove over our gun boxes or anything like that. So.
This is a good thing then. If they didn't try to get the Australians.
The plane, they're like, we don't know where it is. I'm like, it's kind of your problem, If you could find it, that'd be great,
Yeah, absolutely. Birchy, we're just going to take a quick little break here for some technical challenges. So we will be back in just a moment, and we'll be back with Jay. Sit tight, everyone. We'll be here. Birchy, I won't be able to hear you, but I think we may be back on deck and back on top of this thing. So here we go. Jay, are you there? Can you hear us? He's thinking about it.
How you going, boys?
Yeah, it sounds so much better, mate. So much better. So just to fill you back in, get the guns out. I mean, Birchy's got his gun out and Joe's got two of them. So we talked a little bit about Sunday, about arriving over there and that sort of things. But I wanted to have you both back for Saturday. What did you do to prepare for this match? And tell us a little bit about how it all went down. Jay, we'll kick off with you. We've heard from Birchy a bit.
Yeah, he talks too much anyway, no drama. So I was actually I was at work one day, and I'd actually spoken to Scotty Patel about the shoot earlier and Jamie Dennis, and I had one of those days, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go and start doing anything and everything that I would rather be doing.
Yeah.
And that mountain challenge just really appealed to me. You know, I get to go back home and see the family for a kick-off, get to go back home and be at home. And I rang Birchy, said, hey, dude, would you be keen to do this if we can line it up? And he's a very nice guy and puts up with a heap of my stuff, and he said yes. So we chased it pretty hard across the internet until it popped up, and then we jumped on as fast as we could, and we got ourselves a couple of spots, and
because it does
just roll from there. It
does happen to sell out pretty quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, Birchy, you put me onto it faster than I found on it. How fast do you reckon it sold out, man?
Man, I was dragging my feet. I'm like, no, we'll do it. It popped up on Facebook. We'll do it tomorrow. It wasn't an option, and lucky we printed it off, filled it out, sent it back as a picture message to Quentin, who runs it, and it booked out that night. So it was like hours. Yeah, it was crazy, and we've been keeping an eye on it for months. You know, it popped up out of nowhere. It filled up in before midnight.
Yeah, right. Madness.
Well, when you get over there, you can see why, like the venue and the scenery. If you went over there and didn't shoot a bullet and just got to walk around in that hill for the whole day, you'd just be just as happy. You know, it's an amazing spot.
Yeah, right. Beautiful. Fantastic, mate. And so, how many people were shooting? How many spots were there?
Was there 80-something shooters?
Oh, wow.
84.
Okay.
84 on the Saturday, and then 50-something, I think, on the Sunday. There were 42 teams of two. So.
Yeah, right. Huge. And so Saturday kicking off, Saturday's the Mountain Challenge. So what does that entail, Jay?
So, it actually kicks off on the Friday. Did you guys talk about the Friday?
Yeah, there was a 1,000-metre qualifying type eliminator sort of thing, and you also get the chance to zero. We did chat about that a little bit. Yeah, and then the main match.
Yep.
Or is there any aspect of the main match that kicks off on Friday, or was it purely a separate sort of side match deal?
I think if we had been a little bit smarter, we would have shot that on the Friday. And sucked in a bit more data, and just, you know, look, we might have found a couple of little idiosyncrasies that took us a couple of stages to work out otherwise. But no, it doesn't start on the Friday, but yes, we could have started it on the Friday. If that makes sense.
Oh, that's all right. Very good. And so Saturday morning, how early do you guys kick off?
So we were there in the car park, I think, about sort of 7:45, 8 o'clock, and you know the usual briefings that happens with all firearms matches, and then we were broken into. Well, you're working in pairs, obviously, Birchy and myself, and then 42 other pairs or 41 other pairs after that, and they call it a shotgun start, where they spread everyone else amongst 10 different fire points across the mountain. Stage 1 being at the very top of the mountain, stage 10 being down by the car park almost. So those guys that can walk to their stages, at only a few hundred metres, they'd walk off to their stages. The other guys would be ferried via the quad bikes or whatever the side-by-sides up to the top of the mountain. And once you got to your stage, you just got off. Birchy and I think we started at 5, mate.
Yeah, we're at 5, man, halfway.
Yeah. So we started at 5. And then just started working our way down the mountain. We actually snuck in 4 because it was no uphill or downhill. We just snuck through, did 4, and then carried on down to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got all the way to the bottom of the hill, and they put us in a side by side, took us all the way to the top, filled all our kit with dust and water and all manners of cool stuff, and we got back into it.
Fantastic. So, Birchy, what do these stages look like? They're obviously a little bit different to a PRS style match.
I've got a photo here of just our score sheet anyway. But stage 5, we started on the longest stage of the day, which was not a bad thing. Well, I mean, we struggled, but it was good to kind of get it out of the way early because the wind's not as bad in the morning because the heat's not dragging the wind up the valleys and across the side and everything. So we started 1,100 yards prone. If there's a big target and a small target on every stage, all the 10 stages. There's 10 points for the first round hit, 5, then 3. Then you go to a smaller target off to the side, but they're right next to each other, and you get 10 points or 7 points if you get a hit on either of them. So there's incentive to try and hit it first on a first round, and you get less points as you go along. So stage 5 was 1,100 yards prone, and then 800 yards prone. We did that straight afterwards. So that was a good place to kind of begin the day, I think.
Yeah,
but
okay.
It's on the side of the mountain, enormous this farm station called Avalon Station. Just big rolling hills, not many trees. It's up quite high. Knee-high grass. The grass is quite thick, a lot of it, so the wind doesn't really move too much. And we were struggling to kind of get indicators downrange, with the mirage, because you're looking over valleys. You kind of hit and miss with that. There's no real clear indication sometimes what's going on. You might make we both got tremor dots in our scopes. You might say it's 12 miles an hour and it ends up being 4 or 20, So it's pretty hectic, man, yeah.
Yeah, full on. And so any specific notable stages at all, Jay, or ones that you remember for good or bad reasons?
So there's probably 3 that stand out for me, mate. That first stage that Birchy spoke about, that 1,000 yards, that was a massive eye opener. So I quite often get out there and shoot as far as I can by myself, and here in Australia, I don't seem to have a problem picking up. If you miss first round, you pick up that first round in the dirt and you go, right, no dramas, I can make a correction off it. Made this first round shot of the first shot of the day, and it's like, I had no idea. I didn't see that at all. Like, there's no indicator in the dirt. The wind, like Birchy was saying, isn't picking up anything off the ground. It's not moving anything on the ground. What we're feeling, we're only guessing that it's the same where we were. So I shot first on that stage, and I went 5 misses from 5 shots, and in the sort of company we were keeping, I thought, holy, we're done, and I've cooked our whole weekend. What a waste of time and money, but even it was such a beautiful spot, it didn't matter. But just the learning that came out of that, just going to have to really, we're not going to get away with this, regardless of how big these targets are and how easy we think it's going to be to pick this wind. We nearly really need to focus. From that, we got Birchy on for all 5, I think, on that one, didn't we, Birchy? For you on that stage?
It was a hit, miss, hit. So 3 out of 5, but you were the guinea pig, man, and it definitely grounded us and gave us something to think about. That was a bad way to start the day. We were,
Yeah, nice. What about you, Birchy? Any particular ones that you remember?
By way of stages, mate?
Yeah, any favourite stages for you, Birchy?
Well, we both do a heap of tripod shooting. There was a good one. Stage 1 was 400 yards sitting, and we just had a really right stuff tripod and rock solid, just smashing gongs up the top. You've got 5 minutes as a pair to both fire your 5 rounds. Okay. So you've got a minute to set up, which is quite generous. You've got a minute to set up, then you've got 5 minutes for both of you to kind of get done what you need to do. And we're pretty comfortable off the ground and off tripods, and we probably shot that in about a minute and a minute 20 or something, just blazing, and that was pretty cool. That was a bit of a high five, and then we head off. But yeah, it was amazing. I reckon we were probably about 1,000 meters above sea level and just wide open hills, and the wind was cranking, and it's amazing when you turn around and look back and you can see the highway 2 k's away, and you can hear the cars, and just surrounded by shooters, smashing gongs in the hills, and that was kind of surreal. That was awesome.
Yeah, nice. And so some of the skills that you find really relevant at the Mountain Challenge that you wouldn't use here in a PRS match. Jay, what did you find that perhaps you don't use in the matches that we see over here at this stage?
So there's two stages there where you use your mate to shoot off.
I have got a photo of this. Yeah, this is...
So I'm kind of hoping that doesn't turn up in any of the stages. Ben, if you're watching, I don't need that. That's rubbish.
I think this goes in your entry for stages you didn't want to see at Mildura, but I do have this image, and I don't think we'd be allowed to run this stage in range here. Let's put that one up. That's something different.
Yeah. So the first one of those is when we got told that we had to shoot from a seated position, but off our mate. So the guns couldn't touch the ground. We couldn't use our tripod, and our mate had to be our rest. And we were pretty adamant for the whole day that we were going to do everything we could to spot each other's fall of shot or their shots or watch trace or whatever it is, so we could make as informed decisions as we could. So I don't know if you've seen the photo, but
the photo's up now. The photo
on sort of in a hutch. Is it?
There's a photo of I think that's you at the front, Jay, and you're just sort of, you're hunching over and then Birchy's shooting over your shoulder.
It's only weird if you make it weird, man. It's just two dudes shooting stuff.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that, because when there were some people who you've got some fans. Let's put it this way, because I got sent, and I'm not going to say who, but I got sent some fan art from one of our listeners / watchers / people and it's coming through. It's coming through on Facebook currently, and I will throw it up for everyone else to see. But we had some fan art. I suspect based on this one, but let's throw that one up there. They wanted me to play. So anyway, it was obviously you guys had a good time over there.
Like a good t-shirt, I reckon.
Oh, good. But
no, it's certainly good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. It looked good. So that's one of the things that you said you didn't use the same skill set that you would have over here. Was there any other particular skill sets in terms of like unknown distance stuff or anything more physical or stuff you had a lot more time for and you didn't know where the targets was?
No, it's so every time you walked up to a stage, there was generally somebody else shooting it before you.
Okay.
If not a couple of pairs, so you could walk up and see what they were shooting at. Find their targets, like those longer range targets. The 1,000 yards, 900 yards, or 750 yards. Like the targets weren't easy to locate when you first walked up, but once you found them, and then you were good to go. There was no unknown distance. If it was unknown, it was only because the guys running the stage weren't giving you the exactly perfect distance. So, but you had time to arrange it anyway. You get your rangefinder out and sort that out as well. So, I think the biggest thing that we don't use in PRS that we had to use during that stuff was communication and working as a pair to make things happen for ourselves. Whether it was bidding off each other, or whether it was watching fall a shot and calling correction, that sort of carry on. Well, we had, the two of us had a struggle at the start with our dope, which I don't know if you can see behind me on the mirrors here. I've spent the last few days trying to Rain Man it.
Yeah. Are you okay, Jay? Are you all right? Do you need help? How many days have you been locked up?
Just about, mate. I've watched every video and gone through every note I've ever made to try and work this out. I think I worked it out, but I need to go and test it. Anyway, so we worked as a pair.
Yep. Yeah.
We worked together as a pair. We got our stuff sorted out, and we made it work. Which we could have had a really bad day if we didn't have that ability to work together and see what each other was doing and work off each other. Which is something obviously you don't get to do in a PRS competition, which is always cool to do. Go out and shoot with your mates and do that sort of carry on.
Yeah, and obviously in the service rifle stuff, you get to do that a little bit more. So that communication is more important, spotting and shooting with each other. Were you on spotting scopes behind the other shooter, or were you both on your rifles?
We were using a spotting scope. A lot of the groups didn't have spotting scopes with them. They only had one tripod. We went pretty heavy. We both had a tripod and had a Mark IV spotter with a reticle in it. We always tried to shoot from the one firing position, and we just hot swap. So the spotter would get set up directly behind a shooter. Shooter would get down, start getting their preps done and their NPA stuff squared away, and then fire the 5 rounds. And because we had the same rounds, we could learn from each other's data what the wind calls and wind hold was going to be, and then we'd swap over. But that was probably a big thing. A lot of guys run scope for scope, and I understand why, but it's harder to see the trace, and that was one of the most important things for the day, I reckon. So,
Was there any particular things you found very challenging working as a team, or was it all roses the whole time?
No, I'm a lot shitter at spotting than Jay is. Yeah, he's like, dude, come left, point 1. I'm like, and I watch it. I'm like, I don't know, dude. It went that way, So we spent a lot of time spotting, but just man, it was hard going. The ground would eat the rounds, and if you watch the trace the whole way, it's the last 2 meters and it's gone, and that's something that I was really struggling with most of the day. Like if you zoom out, you can see the trace, but you might not see where it goes. If you zoom in too much, you can't see the trace, but you might see where it ended up, But yeah, that was tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, is there anything else, particularly on the Saturday, that you want to cover, or have we covered the important parts?
I think having a minute to set up changes everything. I think it'd be a lot more dynamic, and it'd be a lot more challenging if it was you rock up when you're ready, 5 minutes off you go, and then that's your time to do everything. Like some of the guys are really, really good prone long range shooters, and they're hunters in that area, and they've got the wind dialed because that's the home ground. And that worked quite well for them, I think. But 5 minutes is quite a long time, and then a minute on top. Everything's kind of done, so it's good and it's bad. I'm not complaining. It's just that would change the game completely if that minute was taken away and it was straight down to business.
Yeah, because I guess here you get a lot of you don't get the time to make much preparation in a PRS match. You pretty much away you go.
We get pineappled in Australia, man. You got 60 seconds, like 40 rounds from a barrel upside down on fire.
Ben, if you're watching Ben, write that one down, upside down from a barrel on fire. Just.
But you got to take your scope off and on 4 times before you start.
Oh, fantastic! Good, Jay. Any close out from the Saturday specifically?
It's when we first started that day, I thought, all right, here we go. I'm going to get into this and really enjoy the day and all the rest of it. As soon as I hit that first stage, it's like, right, this is competition, it's on. And then when you realise that it was you again, like with most shooting, you're not shooting against the team up the road or the bloke next to you. You're shooting against yourself. And once we realised that. Well, for me anyway, I don't know so much about Birchy inside his head because there's not much going on in there. But as soon as I realised this is just a fight against me and what I know and what I can add to this, and got back in my own bubble, I guess, and Luke talks about that all the time as well. Got back in my own bubble and started working on my stuff and what I know and what I can control. I thought we did a really, really good job. Considering the first time we've been there, we're probably shooting the wrong caliber for the whole deal. We're not used to shooting. Like Birchy's talking about rolling hills, like Canberra and Snowy Mountains is rolling hills. This joint's a mountain, man. Like it's jagged and it's sharp and it's steep. And if it's open, it's open. And if it's covered, it's covered. There's no mid-ground. And if there was mid-ground, I can work it out. There's one stage there where we were standing, we had 24 mile an hour wind. And by the time we finished that stage, we were only holding for 4. And that was
Yeah, wow.
So,
yeah, full on.
it's just one of those experiences that, yes, it was a competition, but it was an experience. Just for the whole your whole shooting skill set. Your whole shooting. Like that. That every given Sunday for the surfers, that are chasing that ultimate wave.
Yeah.
I sort of see that mountain as the same thing. It was cool.
Yeah,
It was
right.
very cool.
And you want to get back there?
Absolutely, man. I'm chasing that every given Sunday, even though they shoot on Saturdays.
Yep. Very good. All right. And then any particular thing that happened Saturday night, or was it just do your own thing, or was there a dinner or anything?
Well, the Vortex with Goran from Australia, he was over there. They organised a couple of beasts to get cooked up, and we had a bit of meat and some rolls, and had a bit of a presentation for the night. Jared and Scotty from Australia as well. They came second overall for the in their pair for the mountain challenge, which was cool. But yeah, just a shindig, and then we cut away pretty early. We were pretty tired. I was pretty baked anyway. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so Sunday's a different format. Run us through that one, Birchy.
So Sunday was the PRS component, just individual again, no more team staff. There were only 6 stages. One of them ended up getting cut because the target malfunctions, unfortunately.
The only one I did any good at.
Yeah, that was the points, the big points, that one as well. But yes, 6 stages, and that it wasn't in the same area. It was a lot lower down in the valleys and shooting up into the hill instead of actually being up high shooting sideways. This was a lot more control, a lot calmer down there, really, compared to the Saturday.
Okay. So, lads, guys, if you're watching in the chat, now's probably some time to throw some questions in. We'll get to them shortly, but it'll take a little while for them to filter through. Now, Birchy, you I got told you won Sunday. I mean, surprisingly, you did well at a PRS style match.
There was a bit of pressure. I probably should be pretty good at it.
Yeah, not wrong.
No, that was a lot more in line with what we're kind of doing in Australia. It was just on a farm. So the first stage was shooting out of a Polaris from the driver's seat, So if you've done any kind of hunting or spotlighting, it's not abnormal. It's just that the targets were this big at 400 metres or whatever in wind, and our data was still wrong from the Saturday. So I sucked on that one. And that kind of hurt me.
I sucked. I sucked the most.
We shot pretty well on Sunday.
Yeah, nice. Can you take us through a couple of the stages, Jay, on Sunday? Were they very similar to what we see here, or any sort of major differences?
The similarity, mate, came from the awkwardness of the shooting positions.
Yep.
Timeframes weren't such a big deal. I don't think a timeframe rattled me at all throughout the whole course of fire. It was probably just more the positions and the targets and my shooting ability, which we're working on. Anyway, so there was one there where they used one of those big wooden cable drums, stood up proper, how they would unroll the cable out of, and you had to shoot from the top of the timber. And if you weren't 6'2", you couldn't get up there. And then you had to shoot from either side of the platform, and then on top of it, and then underneath it. So finally it was prone. So the first 4 positions, very, very tough. If you made 1 or 2 hits throughout that stage, you were doing very, very well. And then you hit the ground, you got your third one. I didn't hit a target over that whole drum, and then hit the ground and hit it prone. And then Birchy rolls up and hit the first 4 from the most awkward positions I've ever seen in my life, retarded positions, hits all 4 of them. And he's got all the time in the world. He hits prone, gets underneath it, and missed it.
I put a lot of effort into that as well. I was really trying. I was like, I've got ages, heaps of time, breathe, slack sight, squeeze, crack, and then I don't even, whatever. He probably hit a bird or something.
A kiwi. You probably just an endangered kiwi is now no longer alive because you were shit shooting.
Sorry, New Zealand. I apologise.
So that one was pretty cool, Rusty. The one that they cut, they had, it was Stairway to Heaven or something or other, I think they called it, where you had to be feet on the fourth run of a staircase going up onto the top. Actually, that photo they used in the advertising for this, Birchy and I are standing on top of a shed. And the stairs are actually leading to the top of that shed.
Yeah, let me bring that one up so everyone can be informed of what you're saying. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So we're looking at that now, sitting on top of the container.
Yeah, so you had to have your feet on the fourth run. The rifle had to be either touching the runs or the safety rail, and a couple of shots at a closer distance, and then up onto the fifth run, and a couple of shots and we're talking maybe 200 metres and then 300 metres, and then you got up on top of the shed proper, and then you had 2 shots at a target that was at about, correct me if I'm wrong, Birchy, 700 metres?
Yeah, it was like 700 or 800 metres or something.
Yeah, 700 and then 800 off the top of that roof, which is, well, it was a really cool stage. You know, the close distances, further distances, all the rest of it. But the catch with it wasn't the time. It was the fact that you could only dial once. So once you started that stage, you could touch your dials. And we're talking from 200 metres out to 800 metres. It might have even been 850. It was quite a decent distance on it. So to have to use all the elevation within your scope or your reticle within your scope, I actually thought that was a really cool stage.
Yeah, nice. All right, we're going to jump into the chat here because there are plenty of questions coming through, guys. So we've got, I'm just going to try and pick up somewhere where it starts making some sense. Okay, is there equipment you would change for the next match at all? Birchy, would you change anything?
We talked about this. I think I would like a 6.5 PRC or a 300 Norma or something just to fight the wind a little bit more. Maybe that seems to be something that would probably help. It's not a 338 and it's not what we're shooting. At least you can stand and shoot off your mate's face and still control the recoil. You know, I think that and. Yeah, I need to probably change my tripod as well. I've got the PRST. I'd like something a bit more substantial, a bit heavier duty. The really right stuff one would be good. Yeah,
and sort of a follow-up to that was, I mean, you mentioned the PRCs. What was the most popular calibre you saw over there? Were PRCs one of the bigger contenders?
Well, I know Dan Hardy. He won the 1,000-yard job on the Friday with a PRC, a 6.5 PRC. But there were like 7mm 300 Norma. I don't know, everything and anything. Like, you guys are shooting stuff that you'd probably never heard of. You know, it was a free for all. But guys were shooting different rifles on the Saturday and Sunday as well. That was another thing. Like, they might be shooting a massive Magnum on the Saturday and then a 6.5-47 lap on a Sunday maybe for the PRS. It's with suppressors as well. That was really cool to see. A lot of guys running cans over there. It's Australia's Australia, but I think that was quite pleasant. Having spent a lot of time around dudes shooting with suppressors, that's a good thing, I think, and it's a shame that we can't get that going in Australia.
Yeah, not wrong. What were you running, Jay? You're running 6.5 Creed?
6.5 Creedmoor, mate.
Yep. And what would you change calibre at all?
I've already started the research and I've already started the discussions. So, being that for me it's that wave that I want to catch. I think I am going to change my current PRS rifle out to be back to what it will. So when I built that rifle, it was originally supposed to just be for laying down and shooting stuff as far away as I can. And I've now realised that if I'm going to do PRS and I'm going to try and chase this long range, these other long range competitions, I'm going to need 2 different golf clubs. So I've got a new rifle coming for PRS here in Australia, and I'm going to turn what was originally my long range rifle back into my longer range rifle, and I think it'll be 6.5 PRC at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. I think, funnily enough, most of the questions we had. Most of the questions that we had were about what you would change and equipment side of things. From a fitness point of view, is there a high level of fitness that you guys need to be able to do, or is it sort of, it's not too difficult?
So I've got a Cert 4 in strength and conditioning and fitness.
I can see that.
And I had to, yeah, absolutely. So, and I had to actually design a program for Birchy to get him out of the sewing room and out on the streets for at least, like 3 minutes a day so he could keep up with it. No, there's not.
No, okay. So I imagine you've got.
If you can walk down a hill, you're good to go.
I've got knee problems from army and stuff and years of sport, smashing my legs. I had a lot of issues at the end of Saturday walking downhill. They're more of a ligament thing. It's hard to train through that, but it's not so much your fitness, but you need to be able to walk up and down hills with a pack on. There is no, you don't get extra points for being injured going to that because it's going to everything that you're hiding will come out. It's not a secret. Yeah, I was in a bit of strife on the Saturday afternoon trying to walk down the mountain. It probably goes from 400 meters to 1,300 meters in about 2Ks. So it's steep and it's windy and it's off camber and I had a walking like one of the hiking poles with me. That's something that was a good piece of gear to have because the grass is quite slippery and there's a bit of dirt and stuff and you could easily hurt yourself. So you want to have good ankles and you want to have good knees to do the mountain challenge. The fitness is probably not that big a deal, but you don't want to be injured in those areas, I think.
Yeah, I get it. So you need to be in reasonable condition, but it's not a big fitness test or anything on those lines. It's not like you're hiking for miles and miles and miles, and then
you probably walk about 3 or 4 maybe 5 kilometers with a 15 kilo pack. It's not unachievable. It's just that it's like this, and then it's like this, and then it's like this, and
right. So
pencils and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bit out there.
Yeah.
Quinn has done a really good job of making sure that you're only ever walking down the hill as much as you can. So you're not, there might have been 2% of the day we had to walk up a hill, but I think that's because we missed a turn. It was probably more our fault than organisers, but most of it was just all purely downhill. So if you can deal with it, you can deal with it. And like Birchy said, it's not a race. You're just, you don't get extra points for being there before the next bloke or, being an hour behind the bloke that was in front of you originally. So if you can walk up and down the range at your local WSAA or whatever with all your gear in hand, I think you're going to be fit enough to be able to do it.
So we had quite a few questions about what we had changed and that sort of gear. But one thing we probably should establish is what gear did you have actually with you? We'll kick off with you, Joe.
So obviously rifle and then the 60 rounds of ammunition, 50 rounds of ammunition for the day with a spare fuel, obviously. I had 3 litres of water. Doing that again, I'd probably only take like 1.5 litres. I think I overcompensated with that, and just took some trail mix and some beef jerky and whatnot to get through for food and water. Because I mean, as much as we talk about how amazing the terrain was, it wasn't that taxing water and food wise. A few snakes and jet planes and whatnot. But spotting scope, tripod, I think. They were a godsend for us. We wouldn't have got onto as many targets as we did if we hadn't taken that spotting scope. I think laying next to each other, trying to spot using our rifles in those conditions would have been pretty tough because we were reliant on trace almost 99% of the time, and if we weren't seeing it properly, we weren't going to pick up full or shot. So the spotting scope, a must. The Kestrel, obviously, without it, we would have had a very long day of guessing a lot of things. Kestrel with the applied ballistics in it, that kicked it for us.
Yep.
I took the Armageddon low-vis pint-sized game changer as the only bag that I used for the whole day. We had a fat bag, but wasn't required. We didn't need it.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, before.
So that's out.
Yeah. Before we get to you, Birchy, I've got that image you guys sent me of the, I think looking down over the mountain range. Pretty amazing looking countryside. There's the one photo which didn't have any beer or guys in it. It's pretty impressive looking setup. Hiking through some of that. I imagine the hill that you were on hill mountain that you were on is very much of the similar terrain to that sort of thing. Anyway, that's for those playing along at home. See what type of country you were actually in. Birchy, what about you? What were you running? I'm assuming you were running the sexy rifle behind you.
Just the AI AX. We both have Nightfall Beast and Attacker scopes with Tremor 3. The Tremor reticle did a lot of the heavy lifting for us with the wind dots. And like Jay was saying, the applied ballistics Kestrel, that was a big deal. Jay had a laser. I had my laser binoculars. I think it was good to have a pair of binoculars with the team as well.
Mm-hmm.
I had them in a bino harness that we're working on for low vis at the moment. I only had 2 magazines and just an ammo wallet with 40 or 50 other rounds in there. So there was only 50 scored shots of the day, and we took it a couple extra just to make sure if we had to reshoot or anything, we could cover that.
Yep.
I had the walking or like the trekking pole, which was good. Just when we're going across, off-camber slopes and stuff like that with that was good to have. I took too much water as well, but it's one of those things you kind of need it when you need it. You can easily offload it. Snacks, sunnies, and just my stupid hat with the frill neck thing on the back of it. So I've got pasty bitch skin. I get sunburned in a couple of minutes, so I've got to be careful.
Yeah.
And we both had a tripod, and
I think
just pretty standard. We ended up taking shooting mats. We didn't use them. I had a Python bag from Armageddon Gear, which you can squish up and change the shape a little bit. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
but
nice.
we really kind of cut our gear down a lot for this. Just you could easily take way too much stuff.
Yeah, I bet. Just having a look here at a photo of, I think you showing off that very hat with, I think it's just over your shoulder, Birchy, and Jay's on. Is he on a tripod or is he just on the gun? Anyway, he's shooting photos taken over your shoulder with the mountain range in the background. Looks pretty epic location. Absolutely looks sensational. Now you got to meet, I guess, one of the legends of this of shooting in general while you were over there.
Thanks, Rusty. You don't have to go there.
Yeah. Well done, Birchy. I'm glad you got to hang out with Jay for a little while. But this was now. Correct me if I'm saying this incorrectly, but Jerry Michalek. Is that correct? Michalek. Okay, I thought I'd stuff it up. Yeah, I got the photo of the three of you up there, and he was just there competing.
He was there on a bit of a roadshow with Vortex. So I think his wife was actually running a pistol course for some females up the road while he was just hanging out at the comp. He was there on the Friday, and then he was there on the Saturday. We thought we were going to see him shooting in the PRS on the Sunday, but I don't know. He
just bailed.
Do you speak?
No, they didn't come up on the Sunday.
I think they heard about the People's Champion Birchy turning up, and he didn't want to be showing up that much.
Good.
Yeah,
right. And did you get to spend any time with him, or is just sort of a fleeting visit type thing?
We had a bit of a chat. He's obviously a dude that's surrounded by people all day.
I bet.
It was more just nice to talk to him about life and where he's from and what he's been doing and stuff. Like he's just another guy that's done a lot of shooting, and it was nice to be around him. Didn't have to really chat. It was just cool to be there. So
yeah, absolutely. I've got the photo of you guys in the back of the side by side. That was and that was your transport over the weekend, just running back and forth between stages.
Yeah, they were cool.
That was up. You go, mate.
The Honda Pioneers, they were. There was a local Honda dealership up there that sponsored the event, and
cool.
There were about 5 or 6 of them, and I don't know if you could do that in Australia. I think we were pretty close to falling out of the back. It was pretty hectic. The boys that work on the station, they know their way around, and they fang. We were breaking land speed records going up the hill. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. You just got this photo here. You got the title on the top of the NZ Mountain Challenge 2020. I can't quite make out what it says there. I think Team JOJ. JB, So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. That's again just beautiful countryside to be. So I mean, did you find yourself just distracted, just looking around? Or you
I took it toes off Birchy. The scenery just so there's a couple of spots there where you could see from say the firing point to Lake Wanaka, and then if you look the other way, you're looking at Cadrona Ski Field on the other side of the road. Like, it was just picturesque, like you would. I grew up down there, and I was fortunate to spend a bit of time down there skiing and whatnot as a kid, and that. But you don't appreciate it until you go back and you've got to pay for it yourself. But yeah, it is amazing. It's beautiful, mate.
Yeah, right. Got one more photo to show here. This is outside the Cadrona Hotel, or whatever that is. Both looking gorgeous out there.
That pub's pretty famous back home. It's been part of the Spates Brewery beer ads for, I reckon, probably a century. That pub has just been there since that road in front of it was a shepherd's track that they used to push the sheep along. The last time I was down there, that road at the front was unsealed and the whole deal. She's pretty old, that pub. It was pretty cool to be there with such a good mate and be able to go and shoot around there. It was cool.
Yeah, nice, fantastic. Looks like it's an amazing location to shoot in, if nothing else, and it's matched up with an incredible match with I guess two very similar but quite different dynamics and styles of shooting.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal, like especially like Wanaka is only 10 minutes down the road as well. So we'd meet up at 7:30 in the morning, drive 10 minutes. We're on a station, driving over a bridge across a river to get into this place, and then you're surrounded by 100 dudes that are into the same thing as you, wearing packs and all got good rifles and good gear and talking about shooting and got people from all over the world. There was a bunch of guys like guides from Kyrgyzstan there as well, like professional hunting guides, and there were all kinds of dudes, some American people, a bunch of Aussies, and heaps of Kiwis, guys from South Africa, and it was just a melting pot of good dudes just there for the same reasons, and it was in a really nice property, and Quentin and the boys running it did a really good job. It was cool. Yeah, I had a really good time, and like I said to them on the Sunday afternoon, we really appreciated them having us, and it was just a cool experience, and I think something that a lot of people should try and be a part of at some point.
Yeah, it does.
It was really good.
Does look amazing. Jay, obviously a chance to get home and see family and stuff, but a pretty phenomenal shooting experience, I bet.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I've been fortunate enough to shoot at a few different ranges around the planet, and that place at the moment is number one. Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
A phenomenal venue, and the guys, Quentin that runs it, and all the boys I think his son running it, and a couple of guys that work for him helping out and all the rest of it. And even the sponsors are out there running stages and making sure everything runs smoothly. So absolutely phenomenal job they've done. It's above and beyond what they should be able to achieve, but it was awesome, truly awesome.
Yeah, nice, and very good. Any last comments before we're probably about due to wrap this up? So, Birchy, any last comments from thoughts from the match?
I think it's a bit of a reality check, like the New Zealand dudes don't mess around. They're really good shooters, and like the PRS, I was only one hit ahead. Really, that's all there was in it.
Yeah, wow.
And there was like two shots difference between first and fifth kind of thing. So you can't blink and sneeze and blame anyone. It's and the Saturday, because it was only 50 scored shots. If you make a couple of mistakes, you're really just kind of going for a bushwalk with a rifle. It was cool. I had a really good time, and it was good to shoot with Jay. We try and spend a bit of time together. Being in Canberra and Victoria is quite hard, but I'm looking forward to going back next year. We have to go back anyway and give them their cut back. So, I had a real good time. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And Jay, what about yourself, mate? Any last comments?
No, mate. It was a phenomenal time. I was very appreciative that such a high quality shooter such as Birchy agreed to go over there with us. So every time you go shooting, you learn something, and when you go shooting with such a high caliber dude, you learn a heap more as well. So that was really cool. And mate, if anybody is out there is thinking about doing it, you've just got to do it. Like, it was phenomenal. You'll never forget it. If we don't get to go ever again, I'm going to be thankful that we have done it once at least. But
yeah,
like Birchy says, doing everything we can to be back there next year. It was cool.
Fantastic. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for spending this evening chatting away with us, and it's been great to have you on. I'm sure this has been a much more serious episode, but we had something specifically to talk about. I'd be keen to have heard how you went over there. It's a well-known shoot, and Birchy, obviously you went very well. Actually, how did the team go though? That's a question we haven't asked. How did you guys together?
You go, dude. You talk about it.
No, you talk about it.
Well, I don't know if I'm comfortable because.
No, you talk about it,
man. we came 8th out of 42 pairs over the weekend, which I think is pretty cool, and we kind of we were satisfied, we went in blind. We didn't know where the targets were. We didn't know how far we were going to shoot. We didn't know what gear we needed. I've never shot in terrain like that with wind as bad, as hard to read as that. So, but I jump on the knife, and I know that my spotting kind of hurt Jay a little bit when we were struggling. So, there was definitely a lot of room for improvement, and I've got something to work on for the next year. But when we were on, it was all happening. So 8th out of 42 was still pretty cool.
It's pretty sensational.
The guys that went first, second, third, good on them. Like that was hard going. That was cool.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for all the guys I'm sorry we didn't quite get to all the comments this time, but awesome knowledge, and no doubt at some point we'll be able to get these guys back on and delve into their shooting history and some of their stuff, because these two dudes know a lot more than they let on. So,
you want us to show you our hats or anything like that? Is that what we're doing? Or?
What are we doing? What are you promoting?
No, we've got our special hats that we went through.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, if you've got your hats ready, we did this a little bit early today. I discovered that these two guys are very much into their hats, and so I won't show them getting ready, but they'll put a hat on and we'll flick to them, and guys, you can see. So, Birchy, just before we snap to it, what hat are you wearing? No one can see you yet, but what hat are you? Tell me a little bit about this, and then we'll show everyone what it is.
This is a legitimate Russian hat that they had in, I think, World War II for fighting dudes in snow and cold
weather. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. It's a traditional Russian. Yeah, okay. And Jay, any words, or should we just put that out to everyone, because that's impressive?
Yeah, just put it out there, mate.
There we go.
I think they'll work it out.
Oh, fantastic! You guys are good shooters, but also clowns. I love it. It's great. All right, gentlemen, fantastic. Thank you very much, and no doubt we will chat with all of you again shortly. Cheers for coming on.
Hey, before we go, Rusty, thank you very much for everything you do, mate. The sport where it is in this country at the moment, I don't think it would be anywhere near where it is without someone like yourself driving it, mate. You're a bloody credit to yourself, and there's a lot of shooters, including myself, out there that should be very, very, very thankful for what you're promoting and what you're driving out there for us. So thank you very much, mate, and thank you very much for getting this sort of stuff out to the people and the shooters that want to see it as well, mate. Thank you.
Much appreciated, Matt, and really appreciate it. And hey, we do this because we enjoy what we do, and we want to have a good time. So, guys, thanks very much for coming back on. I keep saying that, coming on, and we will no doubt we will catch up with you again shortly. All right, stay safe in doing nothing in quarantine or whatever it is.
I've got 2 days left. I think I'm ready to go.
I bet.
But
I bet.
we appreciate your help, man. Good work.
Awesome, guys. Fantastic, guys. Thanks for watching. For everyone who joined in, a couple of things to mention here. So, won't be on tomorrow night. Saturday is the day off. So we've done 5 shows. We will be back Sunday night with a very unique sort of setup. We're looking at a Q&A. So we're going to get a couple of guys on a bit of a panel, and it's going to be very focused on taking your questions, and then whomever's got the most relevant experience will be answering that one, and I'll be facilitating that. So that's going to be Sunday night, I think the same time, I think we're deciding, but stay tuned on Facebook and Instagram for those details, and that's the plan there. And then back to Monday, we've got some more exciting guests hooked up for next week with some very interesting stuff. So looking forward to that. Stage 1 hats are in, PRS hats are in. Flick through to the Precision Rifle Series website if you want to grab any of those. If you've already ordered some, they'll be on their way this week coming. Again, Projectile Warehouse, you can grab 5% off there if you use the code ID Live, number 5, ID Live 5, the number, not the word, and that would be fantastic. Guys, thanks for everyone who chatted away. It's been our biggest show yet, I do believe. So awesome stuff. Great. Thank you very much. Thanks for getting involved, and stay safe this weekend, and we will catch you all on Sunday night.
Hey, hey. Pretty baby, pretty baby. Get down.